Hey everybody, I'm Marcos.
And I'm Kirsten.
And this is the Minnesota Real Estate Investing Podcast.
Join us every week as we discuss real estate investing in the land of 10,000 lakes.
Welcome to another episode of our podcast. Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of our podcast. This week it's just Kirsten and I again. We're gonna be talking about a really serious topic, as you can see for the title of this episode, which is...
Really serious topic, which is... Oh, what were we going to say?
That's why I left it to you, because I forgot.
Which is successful characteristics of real estate investors. So follow along and see if you have these traits or characteristics of a successful real estate investor. And if you don't, you can learn.
If you want to find out how to be successful in real estate investing, just stick around, watch the video, listen to the podcast, and we'll go over this list of things we have.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the first trait of any successful real estate investor will be that you are financially intelligent, or you want to be financially intelligent. You're learning how to be financially intelligent. So this means that you understand numbers, and math doesn't scare you. You don't have to be really good at math, because I'm not really good at math, and I consider myself financially intelligent. So what do you think?
Well, yeah, related to the math part, you just need basic math. Once you understand, how do you say it in English? I always forget. Addition and, subtraction and, division.
Yeah.
But
that's only part of it.
That's only part of it. Of course, being financially intelligent goes also into how you manage your money.
Do you know how to play the game?
Exactly.
Have you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad? Because if you haven't, you're not an investor. I'm just kidding.
That's like, Rich Dad, Poor Dad is going to teach you the ABC of how to be financially intelligent. And then you have to start, that's the start. That's a book that's going to open your mind to this type of thinking. And then with that mindset, you're going to see other types of books that are, or podcasts that are going to start teaching you more about financial literacy, basically.
Yeah, and that is the exact reason why people are investors. I mean, I would think most of us here who invest in real estate, we want financial freedom, and we want to have enough money to feel, comfortable in our life. So that is, I think, that's why that's our number one, because it's one of the most important, characteristics that an investor might have. I think we could expand on it even a little more, like what type of things do you need to do to be financially intelligent?
Well, yeah, knowledge. You have to ask questions too, a lot of questions, and try to figure out how to, even if you have no money. Being financially intelligent doesn't mean that you're automatically rich. I always tell the story, I always tell this, and my kids are going to hear it their whole life. I came to this country with a backpack and a guitar. Now I have a business, we've achieved so much since I got here. So it wasn't just because of effort, or just because I learned, or just because of the connections I had. It was a mix of everything. I had to understand how credit cards work here, how debt works, how to leverage that. Being financially intelligent doesn't mean that you have a lot of money. It means also that you know how to leverage debt. You can be financially intelligent and you have $300 in your bank account because you just started. But you know how to talk to bankers, lenders, or even regular people that want to invest in something that's not just the stock market. Because right now we're in January 2023 and the stock market is maybe too risky.
Yeah. And I think another thing is, like, we were talking to Ryan Schroeder last week, was it, that podcast?
Yeah, I think last podcast, yeah.
Our last podcast, yeah, and he was saying, live below your means, and that is another thing that I think most financially intelligent people do is they live below their means. They don't, spend every penny of their paycheck every time they get paid. You're putting some of that towards saving money for a down payment for an investment, and just in general, financially intelligent people are investing their money and growing it, so you make your money work for you, and that way you grow it, and eventually, that if you only have $300 in your bank account, like you said, of course that will continue to grow more and more, and you eventually will create wealth, in assets, and like Rich Dad Poor Dad says, liabilities and
there's a difference between liabilities and assets.
Assets, yeah.
For example, if we go to the subject of buying a car, you don't need a Lamborghini. You need a car to get you to point A to point B. So instead of spending your money in the nicest car you can buy, because you can buy it, spend much less money in a car that has better mileage, that's cheaper, but still is not going to break down type thing. Be smart with those decisions.
Unless you're trying to, get some write-offs or taxes.
Well, that's when you're already investing. I mean, of course, you can buy that nice car or a nice truck for work. Actually, that would be my advice. Because it has to meet certain standards and spend.
No, talk to your CPA.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Always talk to your CPA before making those movements. But if you're buying a brand new truck, make sure that you can deduct that. And that goes into financial intelligence. You can buy those expensive vehicles. You can buy luxury things as long as, one, you're making enough money to justify that. And two, it's hopefully a write-off for your business.
And I think that goes into the next point, which is number two. Number two characteristic of successful real estate investors is you like problem solving and you are analytical. So that goes hand in hand with being financially intelligent, because you have to like that problem solving. It's a puzzle piece. It's kind of a game when you're trying to figure out how to grow your money and where this piece fits in, and if I buy this and then this, like how my assets cover my liabilities and all that. So you gotta like problem solving a little bit and kind of be creative with how you're going about managing your money and also searching for investments.
Yeah.
Finding investments.
Especially in real estate investing, you have to be really resourceful and be able to solve problems. Now, many people think that you found a good deal, you bought it, there you go. No. That is exactly when it starts. That's a first step on a laundry list of steps that you have to do. So, problem solving, being analytical is gonna come up in every single step of real estate investing. From getting the property to invest, to negotiating that deal for it to make sense. Then, talking to contractors if it's not turnkey. Talking to the management company, talk to VSN. You have to, then get the tenants if it's a rental. Get a good realtor to resell it that's gonna do justice. Don't cheap out on the realtor. We're going to do a podcast about this.
Well, that's what I was just gonna say is, if you feel like you're lacking in problem solving or a little bit of some areas in analytical, grow your team, get a good realtor. Investor realtor who can help you with some of those problem solving areas that you might be a little bit weaker on, then you'll grow them over time. But everybody, if you're smart, the part of the problem solving as well, I have a problem here, I lack skills in this area, I am going to hire somebody to help me.
Exactly. You can hire someone. If you're watching this and you're yourself a realtor and want to start investing too, you have that part already. You just have to look for the part of the business that you're not good at. You can sell your own house if you're a realtor, and you can probably do a market analysis to calculate the ARV, the after repair value. And you can do all those things. You may be able to estimate rent too, but maybe a property management company is going to be better, and it's going to be good for you to have that resource to ask those questions too. The same thing with construction. I've done a lot of construction throughout my life too, in Argentina and here in the United States. I know quite a bit, but labor prices change all the time. Material costs change all the time. So the people that are doing it 100% of the time are going to be able to give me a better estimate on those things. So I need them to do that. And then once you start doing the construction part of it, you're going to find out how much you need problem solving. Because you're always going to be in a time frame. I highly recommend you to be in a time frame, because we always talk about this. Whenever you buy a property, every day that passes without tenants or without selling it, it means money out of your pocket. It means money that's not being made but spent. It is invested, but it's a different thing. So you're going to have to solve whatever issue comes up quickly. For example, we had a problem in our last flip with, was it Home Depot? Yeah. So they were taking forever to deliver special order cabinets. And they told us at the end of it, they delivered most of them except the corner cabinets. And they said, oh, yeah, you're going to get them in like 2 months. I'm like, 2 months? This house needs to be sold in 2 months already. We need to close in 2 months, not get the cabinets. So we had a good contractor who helped us problem solve there, and we problem solved together, Yeah, exactly. And that's the key. That's the key. Have people around you that are willing to work with you.
That goes into the next point.
Nice! Good segue to point number 3.
Point number 3, or characteristic number 3, is that you are good at connecting with your community and you are good at networking. So, why do you think this is important, Marcos?
As I was going to say, quick shout out to our contractor that helped us with the last flip, Juan Fiz, with Cordova Services. So you have to be able to connect with contractors to make sure that they're doing a good job, right? That they're in the same page as you are when it comes to investing, right?
That, and or just finding the best contractors. You got to network to even just find them and have that good team there. If one's busy, you got to use another one,
have resources at your disposal to be able to get different people is going to be the networking part. Building your team, you need network. Finding a deal, you need network for that too. You need to be talking to wholesalers. You need to be talking to agents, or if you're an agent, to other agents too. Of course, I always recommend for you to have, if you're not an agent and you're working with an agent, I highly recommend you to, have one that's by your side that understands investing too. And that's one of the things about networking that's really important. If you just meet agents, you just, pull a list or go to a broker and ask for, an agent that can help you. They can give you any agent, but not all agents are,
made equally.
Made equally.
Definitely not.
Depending on what the goal is for you to do, whether it is to, you just want to do the bear method and, just build a portfolio with that. If you want to invest in apartment buildings, if you want to invest in flips, whatever that is, you need to know an agent that's going to do the work that's going to make you the most money. And sometimes, I would say 100% of the time, not sometimes, that means paying good for that agent. And the more business...
Pay your broker as well.
Pay your realtor, pay your CPA well, pay your contractor well. You can give them bonuses if they do a good job, if they sell the house quickly, if they finish the job quicker, if they help you like we did with that flip, throughout the flip to solve certain problems that come up. If they help you meet deadlines and do all that, you did a great job at networking and you got the right people on your side. It is so important
Yeah.
to
And not only
do
that,
that.
I think just like getting out there and meeting people gives you new ideas and you learn what other people are doing, and that makes you a better investor because we don't all know everything, the best way to do everything, and there are people who've been doing this much longer, and we can all learn from each other. So that's why I love connecting with people. Obviously, like it brings you deals, and it's important to get things done right and build your team, and you build your team through networking. But I love the learning aspect of it, that you get to know what other people are doing in this industry. There's so much. It's such a creative industry. So yeah.
Yeah, and most investors, I mean, we love talking about real estate. That's why we do what we do, because they're like, you ask an investor, "Hey, how's it going with investing?" And they just, we all can just stop talking about it, because this is lifestyle almost. So if you connect with other investors, they're gonna recommend you the agent that did good for them. They're gonna recommend you the contractor. Sometimes maybe they're afraid of doing that because they're like, well, if I have too many projects, I want them for me. But maybe they want to keep that contractor busy with good people, and they, if you bring value to them, they can start sharing all those resources too. And in networking, an important part about networking is to bringing value to the people that you're connecting with. Like, not just, I mean, yeah, going for coffee and all that stuff, it's fine. Like, it's nice to chat and all that stuff, but really, yeah, I'll pay for coffee. What is the benefit after that? So think what you can bring to the table when you're networking to those people. Can you, if it's a realtor, can you bring them leads? If it's a contractor, can you bring them other jobs? Connect them with other people. If it's another investor, can you work together? Maybe you can offer them something that they're lacking of right now. Let's say it is time to manage, and it's like, hey, do you want me to be your eyes on site?
Yeah, I can guarantee if you are starting out in real estate investing and you want to mentor with somebody, like all of us need help. Like I mean, at least most of us would love an extra hand. Just, if you can bring value that way, that's a great thing to do.
And
get experience.
We talked about this a little bit with the podcast we did with Amanda and Danielle. I think that was like the 4th podcast. You can look for it. Sometimes you have to do things for free just to learn. If you go and help an investor with some things, like, could be as simple as painting a wall, could be as complicated as anything. Really, I can't think about something right now, but if you go and make yourself available and exchange your time for knowledge, that's gonna be great for your future, and that person is gonna really appreciate that you did that, and they're gonna see that you're very motivated and you want to succeed in this industry, which is not a good segue.
I know, and this is flowing perfectly. Yeah, so the next successful trait of real estate investors is being motivated and being able to focus your energy and your vision, like have that narrow focus of what you want and how you're going to get it.
Yeah, I think that setting your goals is very important to get you motivated. So you think about what you want to do. You want to invest in real estate. There are so many different ways to invest in real estate. It's ridiculous, right? Like, this is why we love it too, because the options are almost like there's no limit to what you can do with a property.
And it's not just residential. You could invest in storage units. You can invest in commercial. You can do residential, which is what we love, you know?
Exactly. I mean, yeah,
You can do mixed.
You can be mixed. There's so much that you can do out there. So if you're motivated and you have the first step. You're knowing what to do. You're trying to learn from the best people that you have around you. You're trying to grow your advisors, your team, and then once you focus your energy in a certain part of real estate, whether that is residential, commercial, apartment buildings, storage, developments. Maybe you want to be a developer. I don't know. It just depends on what you want to do. But you need to focus. We know people that won't touch a flip, but they're not scared to completely renovate a fourplex because they know that they can invest long term with that, even if the numbers are a little bit thin. So focus on what you want to do with real estate. Make sure that you understand that, and don't be afraid to pull the trigger when the good opportunity goes there. Because, what happens at the beginning too is that you haven't done something, you haven't done a deal yet, you haven't really done something for yourself. Maybe you helped other people, you saw other deals going through, if you chose a mentor and they're kind of training you and all that stuff. But you need to be able to take action on what you're doing, on what you want to do.
Yeah, and that I think, that's good for that one, because that does segue into the last point, which is you are not afraid to take risks. You know, risk is inherently a part of real estate investing, and you need to kind of measure and figure out where you are comfortable with risk, and then when an opportunity comes along that matches that, you take the risk, and you know that you have the knowledge to take that risk, because all risk is calculated, right? In this industry, we run numbers, we can take measured risks. So what do you think?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, what do I think? I think that it's the most important part. Honestly, every single point here is very important. But if you have the first 4 points and then, you don't do number 5.
I'll talk, no action.
You love to say
talk
that.
the talk, but you won't walk the walk. You gotta walk the walk. You gotta do it.
If you want to be an investor, you need to invest. How are you going to invest if you're not willing to take risks? It is like Kirsten said, everything is calculated as long as you're comfortable. And it's a mix with everything. You're financially intelligent, so you know how to calculate that risk. You know problem solving, so you know that you have the skills.
Exit strategy.
What do you mean?
I just thought, sorry, I interrupted you. You're problem solving. You have a bunch of exit strategies for your property.
Yeah, because you're like, okay, this is going to be, I'm going to do the Burr method with this one. I want to buy it, rehab it, rent it, refinance, and then I'll repeat it, right? But then if that doesn't work, let's say I can't get a tenant, then I need the numbers for it to be sold. Or maybe you convert it into short-term rental, mid-term rental. Maybe you do a contract for deed instead of selling it on the market to help someone that can't buy right now. You can, if you have a loan there, you can place a commercial loan or something like that, and then talk to the bank first, of course, and make sure that they allow this, but do a subject to, or the options, as long as it works with the property or the real estate that you bought, and you have at least, I think they recommend like 4 exit strategies, apart from the main one that you're doing. Sometimes that's kind of hard.
Yeah.
Sometimes things
if you have one, then I think it also depends on your risk tolerance, right? How many do you want to have?
Yeah. And then, connecting with your community is going to help you get better deals. It's going to help you sell it faster. If you need tenants, there's always somebody that's going to need to rent in certain areas. So as long as you're catering to a larger pool of people, it's gonna be no problem. And if you're motivated, you have the energy, you're doing everything right already. So take that risk. Make sure that you are comfortable with that, that you are analyzing it to the point that you don't need that much analyzing, right? That you're like, okay, yeah, this looks good. Now, if you're saying that you're, kind of turning it around and you're seeing it from different perspective and you're taking too long to analyze something, probably not a good deal.
Trying to force it to work, yeah.
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 If you need to make it work, it's not a risk you're willing to take, and you shouldn't take it. Like, when you find a deal that fits your criteria, it's very evident that it does, and it's going to end up working, and that you're going to be comfortable with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's sort of like when you know. That's how it's always been for us. We just know, and we're pretty picky. We found it's harder for us to find things right now, so we're hoping, we get some more inventory, we get some more deals out there. But every time we've invested, we're just like, yep, this is it. This is a good one.
There's a feeling that we have every time that we find a property. It's like, I don't know. It's just weird. It just happens to
it sort of
have
feels
that
like
energy.
Yeah, it sort of feels like meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to go by those like feelings, but like you can be purely with the numbers. And we are too. I mean, if the numbers don't work out, then we can't go with it, even if we feel like it's.
But there's something to be said. I've been reading this book, The Bear Method, by, I always forget his name. What's
David
his name?
Green.
David Green.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been reading that, and there's something to be said about the feelings, because even though you're going by the numbers, you're getting excited about it because the numbers look great. It happens all the time, especially with wholesalers, for example. They send you a deal, you look at the numbers, and you get excited, so you analyze it on your own, which I always recommend. Never trust anyone, trust your own analytical and people on your team. If somebody brings you a deal, have your team analyze it yourself before making a decision, okay? That being said, you make an emotional decision because you're getting excited about making money, right? About, holding a property in a good school district. You're getting excited about, the potential that it has because you just found out that it's close to a hospital, it's close to highways, and it's in a great school district, and suddenly you have something that you can do anything you want with it because you got it for so cheap and it doesn't need as much work as other people think. So you're going to be making an emotional decision.
Where is that deal? I want that one.
Right? But always make sure that you check the numbers, calculate everything, and then get excited about it. It's basically unavoidable to make to have those feelings of excitement,
yeah.
Unless you're a robot. But it's yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But I don't know, and I want to do a bonus point here. Because surprise, yeah, it's not 5, it's 6, but we're gonna just keep it at 5.
Yeah.
Because this is more in general. I think that with anything that you do, that you're gonna put all your energy into and your time and effort to make it succeed, you need to be really perseverant. Is that the word?
Yeah, you need to be perseverant.
Perseverant.
Mm-hmm.
That accent that I have. You see, English as a second language. Sorry, guys.
It's a hard one to say.
Yeah. How did you say it again?
Perseverant.
Jeez. Okay. You understood the point that I was trying to make.
Yeah. I think that's motivated. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, motivated. Yeah. But one thing is motivation. You can be motivated for a few months, for a few weeks, for maybe a year. But you just have to learn that in investing and in anything that is business related, because even though you want to provide housing, or maybe you have the idea to help people, that can't buy houses. So you're going to buy a house, renovate it, and sell it to them in a contract for deed. Or maybe you work with certain lenders in areas, to be able to sell houses to people that qualify for an FHA or some sort of government assistance. You're helping people because you're providing jobs, providing housing, or some sort of need. You're fulfilling some sort of need. And that's fulfilling, but sometimes it's hard. It is very hard. You can get very tired when you're building a business. The first 2-3 years are hard, are super harsh, and you need to make sure that you have that goal and you're pointing towards that, and you're doing everything possible, and you keep the motivation as if it was day one. Sometimes you're gonna be down, and learn how to cope with that, because it's very important that we had our fair share of days that we're not wanting to do this anymore. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's really hard, but persevere. That's right. That's a good. I mean, I see how that is different than being motivated, because you have to be motivated and keep that motivation over the hardest moments when you're just like, maybe you lost money on a deal or something, or like us, our contract fell through when they wouldn't negotiate, stuff like that. It's really hard. So yeah, persevere when the times get tough.
Definitely. You dedicated time, you dedicated money, resources, and it ended up being nothing. Unfortunately, it happens more often than not in this business. You have to analyze so many properties before you're comfortable with the way you analyze them. That's why it's so important to have a team and to have a community for that support.
For sure.
When things are not going the way you want, you need ideas and you need people to help you get through that bump, right?
Yeah, because when times are hard for you, you can talk to your colleagues and you're like, like this happened, and they're like, I know, like it happened to me, and like it really does help to be able to talk to people and then know you're not alone.
Basically, it helps with anything, right, in life. Like if you know that you're not alone, and you have people supporting you, or at least you can identify with a group of people that are going through the same thing that you're going through. It just speaks volumes of how you're going to be able to go through those hard times and get back up. It doesn't matter how many times you're crying on the floor because you just lost $10,000 in your last deal because, some numbers or something came up in this property. But, those were $10,000 that helped you learn a lot. And next time, I bet you're not going to make that same mistake.
Yep. It's not for the faint of heart. There will be down times, but keep it on. So, those are our 5 points. Those are our 5 characteristics or 5 traits of successful real estate investors. We'll put them down in the description box if you're watching on YouTube. I think, we can do the same thing on Spotify and Apple. So
yeah, we can do all that.
Yeah, they'll be down there for you guys to look back at, and we hope that you enjoyed this episode and it was insightful to you. Let us know what you have to say. What are your comments, questions?
Did we forget about something here? Do you think that you need more skills than only this 5 or 6 that we mentioned here? Do you have any ideas, any suggestions for future videos, future podcasts, future episodes? Please let us know. We want to know what you're thinking. We want to know what you want to tell us. You can reach out to us either by commenting, which is great and helps the algorithm in YouTube. You can reach out to us in our social media, which is in the description below. Have a good weekend. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the snow.
Said nobody ever right now. No, I'm just kidding. You can enjoy it sometimes if you go like on a little hike or something.
Yeah, you go on a little hike, you go sledding, you know.
Yeah, do what you do.
Ice fishing. There's so much to do.
All right.
Snowmobiling.
All right, we'll see you guys soon.
See you soon. See you next week. Bye. Thank you for listening to today's episode. We hope you enjoyed it and took some valuable information out of it. If you want to reach out to us with comments or questions, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and our website, milagrohomesre.com.